Jack Della Maddalena versus Rude Boy Randy Brown in a strange turn of events here. Jack Della Maddalena, even though this dude's on like what, a 4-fight knockout streak, he gets the A side, man. Randy Brown, all of a sudden, this dude is just like, oh yeah, we're just feeding him to Maddalena. Don't like that, first off. I think Randy Brown at a plus 250 underdog here is massively undervalued. I think that he can absolutely win this fight. This could be somewhat of a trap game for Jack Della Maddalena, who at this point everybody thinks that as long as he touches you, you're going to bed, which could totally be the case, bro. Especially look at where he's fighting. Look at all of this, man. Everything is lining up for the narrative. But I got to ask, before we even talk about the star that Jack Della Maddalena is, has everyone forgot about Randy Brown? Like, what's going on here?
Bro, this is crazy, Derek, because the narrative is so real on this one that I feel like it's so in front of our face. Nobody's talking about it, man.
Yeah.
Nobody has even talked about this hype. Embedded isn't even covering it that much. They showed Randy Brown just shooting basketballs. That's how much they have little respect for him. And it's a damn shame, bro, because this is a dog. And this is going to be a very fun fight. This is the real deal test for Jack Della Maddalena. And sure, could the knockout happen? Yeah, I don't think so, though, dog. This is going to be a one hell of a scrap that not a lot of people are talking about. Mark your cards, folks. This one might be fight of the night, man. This is going to be a banger. And if you're counting out Rude Boy Randy Brown, putting him on the B side, like you said, plus 250, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. This dude is a dog and has been a certified dog for quite a while, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like this dude's new to the scene, man. It's like Randy Brown has been working his way up the trenches slowly but surely, but I will say Jack Della Maddalena has one massive advantage on hand here, and it's that, let's look at Randy Brown in his last fight. It was against Francisco Trinaldo, and the success that you saw Trinaldo have against the much longer, rangier fighter in Randy Brown is that he was able to walk him down and put his back to the cage multiple times. And if Jack Della Maddalena can do that, we're going to have some real problems on our hands if you're a Randy Brown. Simply because, yeah, you could back him up with those long strikes, throw punches and bunches, but Maddalena, for whatever reason, when he hits you, he's just like not the ultimate, but he's a very high level downhill fighter. Once the strikes start landing, it's almost like, look what he did to Danny Roberts, man. He just walked up on him, cracked him with the big to the top, came down to the bottom, and Roberts almost had a delayed, like, oh. He just kind of like started crumpling. And then Maddalena put it on him and walked off. TKO, easy money. Now, Randy Brown might do something that Danny Roberts tried to do against Jack Della Maddalena, and that's grapple a little bit, man. Those long limbs right there, you start locking up some front chokes, you start trying to take this fight to the ground a little bit. Could see a little bit of success there. But then again, Randy Brown's not the guy who's going to just aim to take you down. It's going to be a lot of, I think, counter grappling, if that makes sense. Staying long might not be enough for the onslaught of Jack Della Maddalena in terms of like Randy Brown's approach. But like, what traps can Jack Della Maddalena find himself in just trying to walk him down the whole time and just play boxer?
I think it's going to be that when Jack Della Maddalena is walking Randy Brown down, Randy Brown's going to have to get him in one of the chokes or get in a scramble, get him in a, I can't think of the name right now, plum, lock up the Muay Thai plum, something to get him locked up. Use those long limbs that are going to be able to control Maddalena, control that pressure and that power. If Randy Brown's going to be in there getting body shotted up and really controlled around, that's going to be his roughest time in that cage. But if he's able to disrupt the balance, hit the body, make Della Maddalena start thinking about other things, throw some knees up in there, and really control the neck and the head and the pressure of Maddalena, then we're going to see something interesting. Because I think keeping Jack at range with your long limbs sounds really good, but Maddalena is a downhill fighter, like you said, Derek, and has the power to really do some damage. But when he's coming in, when he's attacking, when he's rushing in, that's your time to swoop up those double underhooks, start with some kind of a scramble. I don't think the takedown is going to be there for Randy Brown, but I do think the scramble will be there in which he can really work for a more dominant position. That's where we're going to see Randy Brown try. What do you think?
I think it's going to be easier said than done just because of the Jack. I'm not going to sit here and lie, man. I'm over here coming in like Randy Brown's being discounted, but Jack Della Maddalena is legit. He's already proved it, but this is going to be a very tough test. Randy Brown's fought guys similar to Della Maddalena, right? He fought Jared Gooden and he fought Chaos Williams in two of his last five, right? And I'm not saying that Gooden is going to be on the same level, not nearly at all, but Chaos Williams is a very technical, very heavy hitter, man, and he was able to get that split decision against him. His last loss, though, was about 5 fights ago against Vicente Luque. He got knocked out here, man. So it goes to show, like, you hit the button on anybody, they will go out. But having Cowboy Oliveira, Jared Gooden, or not Jared Gooden, you know what Gooden I'm talking about. Night Train Gooden, Chaos Williams, and Francisco Trinaldo having wins over those guys in your last 4 fights, I think that's pretty solid in comparison to Jack Della Maddalena's competition. So the question here is, for Randy Brown, if he were to win, like what would his methodology be? Odds makers say TKO, whew, yeah, right, plus 1,200. Submission, yeah, all right, plus 800. Plus 450 with the decision is even still rough. Like across the board, they're almost giving him no shot. So if you were going on the Randy Brown side of things, how does he get it done?
I think control and domination, really making Della Maddalena feel weak, the littler guy in there, kind of bullied around, and drown him in the deep waters. Show him why you've been in the UFC as long as you have and what kind of dog you are, man. Because that really, if you're going to engage in a striking match with Maddalena, you're playing with fire. Mm-hmm. If you can get him to the ground and work some stuff, I see it happening. But I mean, plus 1,200. Come on, we're not really talking right there. Like you said earlier, you got $5, might as well. But seems to be the decision, the drowning in the deep waters, making things bloody, making Jack feel what the UFC is about right here. And if you've ever played a varsity sport or a big-time sport, you went and played college sport, they always talking about that next level. Mm-hmm. Show Maddalena that next level of what the UFC actually is, and then we're talking about a dogfight. That's when it gets interesting for Randy Brown.
That's right, man. And I'm just looking at the resumes, man. Jack Della Maddalena has made his UFC kind of career thus far off of Danny Roberts, Ramazani Meave, Pete Rodriguez, and Angelusa, right? So Lusa and Pete Rodriguez, real power threats on the hands. But like I said, it's just not the same caliber of the guys that Brown has fought. Meave, good grappler, right? And he was able to stave him off. But then again, a lot of people criticize Meave a little bit, in terms of his grappling style. I'll just say this, man. Jack Della Maddalena minus 135 TKO against Randy Brown to me is absolutely absurd. If it does happen, I will eat my words happily, but I don't see this coming to fruition against Randy Brown unless Randy Brown just has one of those nights where he just decides he's not trying to, mix it up at all. I think Randy Brown is a talented enough fighter to be able to stave off simply just getting walked down and boxed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, give the man a little respect. I'm going to go Jack Della Maddalena, and once again, I get it, not fun. I'm going decision here, Maddalena against Randy Brown. I just think you come to a certain point where they can at least, if they don't win, they can at least avoid a tragic knockout loss. Like Randy Brown, with his size and his frame, I think he can do it. So give me the decision for Jack Della Maddalena. I like that plus 300. Don't feel fantastic about it. I do think Randy Brown could absolutely win this fight, and if he does, we all need to put some respect on my man's name. But how do you see it, AJ?
I agree, Derek, and basically everything you've said. If there's somebody who can win this fight, Randy Brown is that next level fighter who can get things done. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be a finish? I don't think so. We're going to see a drowning here either way. I'm going Jack Della Maddalena. I'm with you. I'm taking the decision. I just think Randy Brown is too good to get finished. We'll see what exactly happens, man. You got $5, throw it on that submission. If you got 10, might as well throw it on Randy Brown. But I'm taking the safe money with Jack Della Maddalena.
And I will say over and under on this fight is 1.5 rounds, but it is favorite to go over. We're looking at minus 185 for the favorite, plus 155 or minus 185 for the over, plus 155 for the under. So it should be a fun one right there. And then for these last two bouts, AJ, I mean, we could speed through them pretty quickly.